This video will show you the comparison between the displays of the Dell XPS 15 laptop and the MacBook Pro. And these two laptops are very similarly configured. By similarly configured, I mean that the MacBook has the Core i5 processor, and so does the Dell XPS laptop. The Dell XPS laptop comes with the NVIDIA 420M 1GB graphics with Optimus, whereas MacBooks comes with just 256 MB, and I believe it's NVIDIA 335 or 330M. It's a little lower model, and it has a lower video memory. I'm just going to do the comparison between the displays, because when it comes to displays, really there are like very few laptops that have very good displays on their laptop screens. And the Dell XPS 15 actually has a 1080p display, whereas the MacBook has a 900p display. That means it's 1600 by 900 resolution, whereas the Dell XPS is actually a 1920 by 1080p display. The keyboards are backlit, and they will come on once I turn off the light, because I'm going to run a trailer, and that is the best scenario to see how good the displays are. But right now you can actually probably have a look at the two displays. The green on the Dell XPS 15 for the trailer startup page is actually very pronounced. It's very rich, whereas with the MacBook it's like a little washed out. So to do a fair comparison, I'm going to just turn off the light and I'm going to simulate a scenario where you're like watching a movie on a plane or something like that, just to give you guys an idea of what you can expect in terms of visual quality. So enough of talking, let's turn off the lights and see what happens. So you could see that the Dell XPS's keyboard does not turn on automatically. That is because it does not have an ambient light sensor like the MacBook. So a point for the MacBook there. I wish Dell XPS 15 had done that for their laptops as well. But it's not a big deal, because the minute you just swipe it comes on, and there's a manual control here on the top. I think it's the F6 key that actually controls the brightness of the keyboard. This is also a pretty nice feature if you want to turn off the light and you maybe use the light above you in the airplane. So this is the control for the backlight. So we see both the backlit keyboards are on, the displays are on, and I am going to leave the camera on the table for a minute so that I can click both these guys at once so that you can see a side-by-side comparison of the screens. This is actually the Inception trailer in 1080p. So I clicked play, and both of these guys are running together.
There's one thing you should know about me. I specialize in a very specific type of security. Subconscious security. You're talking about dreams? Mr. Cobb has a job offer he would like to discuss with you.
You've got a work placement?
Not exactly. You create the world of the dream. You bring the subject into that dream, and they fill it with their secrets.
Then you break in and steal it.
Well, it's not strictly speaking legal. It's called Inception. Already. I think I found the way home. And it's the last job. That's how I get there. Dreams feel real already. Tell me when we wake out of control.
Mustn't be afraid to dream of the bigger daughter.
Okay, so that was actually a good demonstration of the displays in action together. If you could rewind the video and look at it, I would just go at the differences between the displays. The skin tones of the people in this trailer actually is a little better with the Dell XPS 15. That means the colors are more actively reproduced, I would say. They're good to look directly because this camera really does not do justice to capturing all these colors. The MacBook is a little washed out when it comes to showing color, whereas the Dell XPS 15 is pretty sharp. Another advantage is that this screen actually runs at native 1080p, whereas this is just 900p display. So it's actually toning down the 1080p to a 900p and playing it. So it's not really a fair comparison, but if MacBook were to have a 1080p display, I would definitely compare it. Unfortunately, MacBooks only have a 1080p display on their 17-inch models, and 15-inch models do not come with that option. I'd like to show you certain problems that this Dell XPS 15 laptop has when it comes to playing Flash videos. And for that, I just need to turn on the light so that you guys can see it a little bit clearer. So right now, if I press play again, it's going to play from the beginning. You can actually see the flickering. Let me try to attach that again.
There's one thing you should know about me. I specialize in a very specific type of security.
So the flickering that you actually
Subconscious
see,
security.
the press escape to exit full screen prompt.
Dreams.
Let me just try to mute the audio so that you guys can hear me when I do it again. So the flickering that you actually see is actually because of certain problems with the drivers that many people are having. I'll show it to you once again so that you know what it looks like if you need to call Dell. Yeah, there you can catch the flickering. And this flickering also comes to the control bar, though it's not showing up now. Sometimes even the part where you like scroll the video actually also flickers, and this is a problem with the Dell XPS 15 laptop. I have no idea why it happens, but otherwise the display is a treat. You will not be disappointed if you spend the money for the display. I would highly recommend that you spend the money for the display. In terms of sound, so hands down, the Dell XPS 15 laptop is the best sounding laptop out there. When I ran these two trailers side by side, most of the sound from the MacBook was like eclipsed by the Dell XPS 15 because it's just that good. So to give you an idea of how much it sounds like, I'm going to just run a bit of this trailer again, but without the interference of the MacBook, so that you can have a feel of the effect when the sound comes into play. So this is at max sound, and you can have a look at it again.
There's one thing you should know about me. I specialize in a very specific type of security. Subconscious security. You're talking about dreams. Mr. Carr has a job offer. He would.
So you could actually hear the bass in this video because of the subwoofer at the bottom of the laptop, and it's very detailed sound. Now let's try playing that in the MacBook, and you will see why I say that the Dell XPS 15 has better sound. So this is the sound of the MacBook at full volume.
There's one thing you should know about me. I I specialize in a very specific type of security. Subconscious security.
You talk about dreams. Mr. Carl has a job.
So you could actually see, I'm not sure if you could actually hear that, but when I play this on my laptop, it just vibrates because of the bass, and that's really good because the sound is just exceptional. And other certain things that I want to share with respect to the display. You do not want to use this display at a full brightness setting, because believe it or not, I was actually using this display at half brightness. Yeah, I know you can't believe it either. And my eyes just hurt when it's at full because it's just so bright. I mean, you cannot look at it for a long time in the dark. I'm sure your eyes would hurt. And the next thing I want to show you is Dell already configured this so that the DPI settings are at 125%. In a 1080p display, the text looks really small, and that actually makes it hard to read certain websites. So the way you get past that is actually go to the graphics in the screen resolution and just go to make text bigger or smaller, and you can see that the setting is at 125% medium. If you want to change that, you're welcome to do that, but I would recommend that you do not go above 135%. There is an option to set it custom, but 125 works fine for the most of the things. Google Chrome has some issues with rendering websites for this display. For Facebook, for example, the text is like really small. I had a tough time reading it, so I had to actually zoom in the page. But this problem did not show up in Internet Explorer or Firefox. No such things with the MacBook. It's a pretty well-known laptop, so there's not much issues regarding that. So that's it. Then another nice feature is you can actually have a button to turn the display off, and that saves battery. Actually, that's a neat feature. I wish more laptop manufacturers consider that, turning a display off is a good thing. So you can actually just run music so that the screen turns off, and then just press any key to just bring the screen back on again. So that's a handy feature. So other than that, guys, the display the winner is definitely Dell XPS 15, because it is the best display that I have seen. But one note is, there are many people who think that this is an RGB LED display. It's not. It's actually a WLED display, which means it has a white LED at the back panel to provide backlight for the LCD, and it's actually just a marketing ploy by Dell to call it a B+RGLED display, but it's only a WLED display. Despite that, it has good contrast ratio, good colors, and it's a definitely good screen to buy. I would encourage you guys to pay the extra cash for that. You could just save money on the hard disk and the RAM and upgrade that later, but do spend money on the screen. It's really worth it. Sound wise, it's really cool. The JBL speakers are really good. It has waves, software enhancement as well. And so that's it, guys. Feel free to ask me any questions. I'll be posting this video on YouTube. Okay, nice to talk to you guys. Bye.